Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Melissa. If you've watched a few of my videos before, this video is going to be a little bit different. Today I'm going to be talking about my low buy year. If you're used to watching me for my signing agent content, don't worry, I will be putting out more signing agent content soon. But if you like learning about money and want to hear about my low buy year, then please keep watching. If you don't know what a low buy year is, it's exactly what it sounds like. Low buy year is basically where you really watch your purchases and you try your best not to spend a ton of extra money. A lot of people do low buy years because they have a big goal, so maybe they're saving for a vacation or trying to get out of debt or just saving to watch their money grow. I personally didn't even mean to have a low buy year, and I'll talk about that more in just a second. But basically, with your low buy years, you count all the extra purchases that you didn't have to make. So things that don't count would be things like my mortgage, gas for my car to get to work, my insurance, any groceries. So fast food restaurants and other restaurants, that would count, but your regular groceries don't count. Things that do count are anything that's extra, so clothes, home decor, just random things that you buy for yourself. I also did not count gifts, so if I bought someone a gift, I didn't count that. So as I mentioned, lots of people do low buy years for different reasons. They all have their own different goals. I personally didn't even mean to do a low buy year. I stumbled across these types of videos myself on YouTube, and then my credit card company emailed me a list of all my purchases in 2020. So I use my credit card for every purchase, and I do this because it builds up my credit card rewards and they give me money back. I just pay my credit card off every month, and so it made it really easy for me to analyze all my purchases from 2020. I just like to save money, so my why, I guess, would be to save money, but also I have an ultimate goal of I want to pay my house off as soon as possible. Some people get their loan for their house and have 30 years to pay it off, and they're fine with that, but me personally, I want to try to minimize that so I can pay even less in interest over the years. So that is my why. It's always good at the end of every year or the beginning of every year to take a minute and really analyze your purchases from the previous year, because by doing that, you can really make some goals for yourself to do a little bit better and save a little bit more for the following year. In general, I'm a pretty cheap person, but I was really shocked because as I started analyzing my spending, I could not believe that I only purchased 8 things from Amazon all year long. That during quarantine, we're online shopping and ordering tons of things. I myself was not, apparently. Most of my quarantine days, I just enjoy being at the house in my pajamas, hanging out, and again, maybe browsing some things online, but I don't purchase a ton of things, and we'll get more into that in a moment. For the year of 2020, my extra purchases totaled up to be $1,835.67. When I first pulled up my transactions for 2020, it was actually closer to $5,500. However, a lot of those purchases didn't count. So the things I did count for my low buy year were things just for myself, also fast food purchases or restaurant purchases, anything beauty or home decor, clothes, all those types of things did count. I also took a mini vacation, so that counted as well. I also noticed that when I analyzed the $5,500, it also included anything that I took back to the store. So if I made a purchase and I ended up returning it, it still stayed on that $5,500. So out of my low buy total of $1,835.67, I broke it into 3 categories. So first was merchants. So this included any stores like Walmart, Target, Ross, JCPenney's, Kohl's, all those places. Next was restaurants. So that was actual sit-down restaurants as well as fast food restaurants. And then third was kind of an other category. In the other category, I included any education, and then also I included when I Venmo'd or PayPal people, because that was not on my credit card, obviously, so I had to check my Venmo and PayPal for those. So the merchant category was the largest category for me. However, again, I did notice that the whole amount that I'm going to be talking about here for my merchant category doesn't actually count. I counted it in my total. However, I know that, again, Walmart was one of the merchants that showed up, and most of my Walmart purchases are groceries that I purchased there. So I know that amount is a little inflated. However, I just went ahead and kept it in there. So my merchant total was $987.82. So I'm just gonna read off some of the places that I went to. Dollar Tree and Dollar General, and that accounted for $80.92 of my spending. And actually this shocked me a little bit because I don't know how I spent that much money at Dollar Tree and Dollar General. I do sometimes go there for little things here and there, but I guess that really added up. $80 is not a huge purchase, but I'm surprised at that total because I really don't feel like I get that much stuff from there. I do tend to buy my eyeliner and bronzer from there. I also tend to get little things like brownies and lighters for candles, which I don't usually purchase candles for myself. However, I do get candles as gifts. So I use lighters from Dollar Tree a lot of the time. I buy chapstick. So I don't really know all the purchases that added up to that $80.92. However, I know it was a lot of little things. Next was Amazon, and I'm going to talk about my 8 things that I bought from Amazon in just a moment. Walmart, again, was $254.54. I think a lot of that was probably grocery money. I do most of my groceries at Kroger, but some of that was probably grocery money. There are 2 things that I actually bought for myself at Walmart over the year of 2020. So I spent about $20 on a sweatshirt, and then I also purchased a home decor piece for my door for the fall, and that was maybe $4, I think. And I actually had to call and ask my husband if he thought I should buy this. So I stink at buying things, which again is how I managed to have a pretty low buy year. The next one is kind of crazy. I'm proud of myself. Target, I only spent $81.55. However, when I went back through the transactions, $54.61 worth of that I ended up returning to the store. A lot of times I will buy things, and if I don't use it within the first day or 2, then I tell myself I don't really need it and I shouldn't have bought it, and I return it. So I ended up spending $26.94 at Target. So I will add that sometimes I obviously get gift cards for Christmas or my birthday or just throughout the year for different things. So if I used a gift card for something, then I also didn't track that. So I do think I had a couple of gift cards for Target throughout the year. They weren't big at all, $20 to $50. So I think there were a couple of other purchases that I got from Target throughout the year, but again, didn't spend too much at Target this year. This one is Ross, and I love Ross, but this is also surprising. It says I spent $176.84 at Ross. However, I returned $101.54 worth of that, so I actually spent $75.30 at Ross for the year. And I actually know when most of these purchases happen, so right after things started opening back up, Ross had a pretty good sale, and I did buy quite a few things. However, again, you can't try things on in the stores right now, so I know I did return quite a few things as well. The next one is Sally's and Cosmoprof. So for those 2 places together, one I spent $44.64 and the other was $24.89. So at those places, I just get things like purple shampoo for blonde hair. I also get my hair dye and developer because I do my hair at home. My mom was a cosmetologist. She can't do my hair anymore because she has shoulder issues, but I taught myself how to do it from watching my mom, and now I've taught my husband to do it. So my husband does my hair, which is one way you can save some money is if you just do your hair at home. It's much cheaper, so those two totals together wouldn't even cover one time at the salon. So definitely learn how to do your own hair if you haven't done that yet. Next, I spent $9.83 at a place called Dirt Cheap. I actually remember this purchase. I purchased at Dirt Cheap. They have things from other stores that didn't sell. And so at Dirt Cheap, I found a Target blanket, and I thought it was $12. And I actually thought on this purchase forever. And my mom's like, dude, buy it. You think way too much about some purchases. Just buy it. You have to buy stuff for yourself sometimes. I am still in shock that I only purchased 8 things off of Amazon all year. So a lot of people were online shopping during quarantine, and apparently I was not. So during the year 2020, the only things that I bought from Amazon were, it was a set of rugs that I noticed the prices went up on these rugs now. When I purchased them, they were $12.99 plus tax. They're around, I think, $16.99 now. I also purchased these flip-flops, so I wear these a lot during the summer. I actually had a pair and they broke as I was walking on the beach, and so I bought a new pair, and these were around $16 or $17. So next I bought these ring adjusters. I think they were like $8. They just go in the back of your ring. So my ring's a little top heavy. And so they kind of just help your ring stay up. I also purchased some foundation. So my foundation probably lasted me much longer than it usually would because I wasn't wearing makeup as much during 2020. I bought painter's tape from Amazon. And again, that was just when we were all doing home improvements. I painted and I had paint, but I needed painter's tape. Bought a duvet cover, and then I also bought this stupid thing, which is one of the purchases I regret buying. So on, again, quarantine, I was watching TikTok a whole lot, and people on TikTok were swearing by this, and this is the dumbest product. It's supposed to blur out your skin, and it does not. And as soon as I tried it, I regretted it. Technically, I think you could return this on Amazon. It had free returns, but I had used it, so I didn't return that. But that definitely could have lowered my amount for the year. The next category is easy. It's restaurants. So under that category is all fast food as well as sit-down restaurants. That totaled up to be $529.07. So I was actually kind of blown away with this when I clicked on that part of my spending. There were several transactions, and the surprising part about that is there was a huge chunk of the year where I didn't go to any fast food restaurants or sit-down restaurants because, again, quarantine. So imagine what it would be if all year we went to restaurants and fast food. I will say that before quarantine happened, every Sunday my sister and I would go to church and then go to restaurants. And I'm kind of okay with that because that was kind of, again, time I spent with my sister. However, the part that I would like to fix and would like to work on is all the fast food that I saw on my transactions. So there's not really any need to stop and get fast food all the time. If you plan your meals, you can get your meals much cheaper and much healthier by going to the grocery store. So that's definitely something I want to work on. And then the last category was kind of the other category. So here I counted Venmo and PayPal. And then also on my credit card, there was something called services. And I will tell you a little bit more about what fell in that category, but that totaled up to be $318.78. So I did go on a small vacation in the summer with just a few friends, and we split it wasn't a hotel, we split a condo on the beach. And so that only cost me $120. And then I also, once we got there, we went to the grocery store and we split our grocery cost for food for the week. And that was $67.33. And then the other things that showed up under the service category there were my notary stamp and my NNA background screen, as well as the NNA test for me to become a notary and signing agent. I also saw my purchase for the loan signing system, which again, I returned, so that showed up, but again, I returned that, so that did not count. And then finally, I also purchased my bond, as well as I had to pay for the application for my commission. One thing that I actually struggle with is people around me actually tell me I don't spend enough on myself. So I know this kind of sounds like a good problem to have, but in some ways it really is kind of bad. I think as a child, I actually remember when I became a saver. My mother had taken me and my brother to Dollar General. We were with my aunt, and she told us we had a certain amount to spend, and I got a baby doll with my money. And I remember coming home and showing my dad and being so happy with my baby doll. And he was like, okay, that's cool, but how are you ever going to buy a swimming pool? And he explained to me, you know, if every time someone gives you money, you go and buy all these baby dolls, well, how would you ever have enough money to buy a swimming pool? You would never have enough because you're always spending it. And to get a swimming pool, you would have to save that money, and then you would have enough for a bigger purchase. And that really stuck with me. I actually made my mom take me back to the store, return the baby doll, and get my money back. And I swear ever since then, I've been a saver. And kind of in the back of my mind, I'm always just worried about spending money, and I talk myself out of a lot of purchases, which is good in some ways. However, it's kind of like not the best in another way. I really think on all of my purchases unless it's a necessity. If it's food or something like that, I don't think so hard, but if it's something for myself, I have a really hard time buying it, and then if I do buy it, I usually end up returning it. After looking at all of my credit card purchases, it really showed me how many returns I make. I'm not someone who uses things and returns them. I just want to put that out there, but I usually will purchase things and then sit on it for a couple of days, especially during COVID, since you couldn't try things on. And a lot of times I would just realize it caused me more stress than it did just make me happy. And so what I mean by that is sometimes I can't figure out how I want to utilize the thing, and so I just take it back. I'll give you an example. So for Christmas, I got a moonlight from a friend to go on a side table, and then I also received 2 lamps to go on my side tables. And I love them both. They're both gorgeous and thoughtful gifts. However, they're both kind of stressing me out because I've never actually thought that I needed a lamp. And now that I have the moon and 2 lamps, I'm kind of like, where do I put these things? So it's stressing me out a little bit. That is what happens a lot when I purchase things. It causes me more stress trying to figure out if it's a piece of clothes, what am I going to wear with this? Or am I ever going to purchase another piece of clothing that would look good with this? And so I end up just taking it back. I watch a ton of beauty YouTubers who buy home decor and clothes all the time. And as much as I love watching them shop and buy things, I can never be that person because, again, it stresses me out. And then I feel like you would constantly have to be getting rid of things after every season, which is a whole nother job in itself. Again, I'm content with what I have, and I like getting new things, but there is a part of me that it just stresses me out. I actually was thinking about this earlier today, that the purse that I carry, I've carried the same purse for 4 years. It's a crossbody purse that I got at Walmart on clearance for $5, and I actually still get compliments on this purse. And though I've went and looked for other purses, I feel like I'm always talking myself out of it. And you can probably see some other purses right here that I just never use. These were actually purses that my husband, then fiance, purchased for me. I swear every other month when we were dating, he would buy me a purse. I never would ask for them, and he would buy me purses, and you can see they are all just hung up over there. So all in all, I'm happy that I took the time to analyze my purchases. It did show me some things. Again, it showed me that I want to cut down on my fast food purchases, but I also learned that I don't spend a ton of money on myself, and it's okay if I want to make a purchase here and there. It's showing me that I can actually afford that and do that, and it would be fine. Take the fast food money and spend it on a new purse. So I'm going to encourage you guys to also keep track of your spending, or maybe even go back and see if you can track your purchases from 2020. And I want to know, what would you guys like to do better with your spending? Is there something that you would like to cut down on? Let me know down in the comments. Please remember to like and subscribe this video. And I think that's it, guys. I will see you guys soon.